Hello again there folks, TaterCat here. Today I will be reviewing The Chronicles of Nick Infinity by Sherrilyn Kenyon. It is a young adult spin-off of her series Dark Hunters, which I'll talk about in a bit. The Chronicles of Nick follows the story of Nick Gaucher, who is this kid in complete fucking poverty because his mom was a teenage mom and they're just fucking poor. He goes to this high fancy school because high marks, he basically got a scholarship in. And so the people there kind of treat him like trash because he's poor and they're rich and blah blah blah. One night he makes a poor decision to hang out with some bad people and gets fucking shot. He gets saved by this guy named Kyrian Hunter. And since they're poor, they're just like, oh god, how are we gonna pay these medical bills? Because obviously he took him to the hospital because he got fucking shot. Don't really want to leave a 14-year-old kid to go bleed out in the street, because the people who were beating the shit out of Nick were about to put a bullet in his head. So in order to pay back the hospital debts, Kyrian's just like, whatever, I'm rich, Nick can pay for me doing fucking errands or whatever. So while all that's happening, Nick is just like totally fine because he's suspicious of Kyrian, but like at the same time he's just like, okay, whatever, he's just this weird rich guy. While all this is happening, some of the students one of the students flat out attacks one of his friends and starts trying to eat him like a zombie, but he's still alive, he's not dead. And then this problem kind of spreads, so there's a lot of people running around eating other people, but you can't really, take them down because they're still alive. So, that kind of counts as murder. So while all this weird shit is happening, Nick kind of has the veil pulled from his eyes and realizes that supernatural shit does exist in this world. Like, he finds out that one of the kids he goes to school with is a werebear, and demons exist, and he's got all these, like, special powers that he hasn't tapped into. He taps into it, like, twice, and it heals up his arm completely, like, instantly, and he's just like, what the fuck? He gets this special dagger that can shrink down to, like, a pocket knife and then turn into a full-ass sword. So then he's just like, oh, my skepticism about supernatural stuff as bullshit was wrong. Weird. So, they fix the zombie problem, that's about it. Now, I haven't read this series in a few years. I decided to pick it up again because I have some of the later volumes that admittedly I've had for a couple years and still have not read because I suck. And I still like Nick as a character. Nick is your pretty much average 14-year-old boy. He's a snarky little asshole. But he's a good kid. Like, he doesn't cause trouble or anything. He tries to stay out of issues. Well, he tries to help people and stay out of trouble and blah blah blah. He's a good kid. The two issues I have, the character I don't like is actually his mom, because his mom is one of those just do what I say, and because I said so. She's always friggin' yelling that he's gonna be grounded if you don't do this. He has like no fucking freedom at all. And she has, like, no trust in him. Period. I don't like her, because I don't like parents like that. And yet, Nick is a good kid and is perfectly obedient. He does everything she says to the best of his ability. And when he is not able to fulfill her commands completely, she yells at him and blah blah blah. There are, I think... So I kind of have a theory on why that is, but saying it now is kind of a spoiler. So I'll talk about that when the book comes to that. The reason why Nick's dad is not in the picture is because he is in prison for mass murder. So his dad's kind of a bad person. So he's always worried about, like, I can't turn into my dad was terrible, blah blah blah. So he's always worried about that. So that's why he works so hard on being a good person. It's almost like his mom is so confident that he's going to turn out just like his dad, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool, you don't differentiate them. My other issue with this series is this is a young adult spin-off of her series Dark Hunters, which is adult paranormal romance. Well, I guess you're whatever. It's paranormal romance. I don't like romance stories much to begin with. They're not my thing. My major issue with the Dark Hunter series is I read the first 2 books. Like, the first one was very sexual, but that kind of was the premise. So I was just like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. The second one tried to have more story, but half the book was the 2 main characters fucking. Half the book. And this series makes some damn heavy-handed references to Dark Hunters, like it's expecting you to go read that or have already read it. That's my main frustration with this series, is that it's so heavy-handed. I am tempted to ask people if the Dark Hunter series ever gets not like reading an erotica, because whatever eroticas, I don't hate them, but you're trying to have this deep, interesting world, but half the book is focused on the 2 characters just having sex. It's boring, to me at least. I guess that's probably from me being asexual and aromantic. I don't care. Get to the deep lore. I want the lore. But that's not this book's fault, that's the writer's fault. I've already started book 2, and since these are young adult novels, they're pretty short reads. Because, I mean, like, look at this. That's not hard to get through. So when I get to that, I will make another review of it. So overall score, probably about, I'd say a 7. It's good. I enjoy it. Not fantastic. There's issues I have of it, as I said already. But it's still an enjoyable series. I would recommend it. I will show up again after I finish book 2. Like, subscribe, and all that noise. I will see you in the next one, folks. Later.